Before we start working on the lazy sunset painting, there's one more thing that we need to uh, discuss or look at, and that is some basic techniques that we'll use in doing this drawing. Um, for starters, we're going to be doing some clouds. So let me give you a feel for the right and the wrong way to draw clouds. I'm going to use white so it shows up really well here on this black paper. A lot of times when we do clouds, we kind of fall into the what I call the cotton ball idea. We draw a circle and we may even, color the circle in, but we end up with, a bunch of little circles hanging around, and that's how we do our clouds. But now I'm not saying that it never occurs that way out in the sky, but if you look at most cloudy skies, you're not going to see that kind of that kind of cloud. We don't want cotton balls. What we want to do, we're going to still use that circular shape, but we want to make it a little bit more connected. Now, when I'm drawing clouds, I don't draw them this way. I'm drawing the line here just so that you can kind of get the feel that, if you're drawing a sky, then you want to make sure that your clouds are going to look somewhat realistic, and so get away from the idea of cotton balls. I'm going to erase again. I can't totally erase, but that's okay. If I'm drawing a bank of clouds, then I'm going to, again, well, that's not a good corner. I'm going to use, there we go. I'm going to use the side of my pastel, really the whole corner, and I'm going to work from those edges. Because clouds have shape. Clouds aren't just squiggly lines in the sky. And as you'll see when we do the painting, I like to use the actual color of the paper as part of the process of drawing those clouds. And I'm just blending in a little bit here, but I'm using the tone of the paper, the background, to add a lot of my detail in the clouds. Now, something else that is helpful too, and you'll see us see it when we do the drawing. I will at times lift out color. If I'm drawing on a dark surface, then I will lift out color to give me some darker values in what I'm working on. And then, I just do that with a piece of foam. Sometimes I do it with a piece of, this is I guess it's an eyeshadow applicator. I'm not that versed on it, but I know it works really well. Kind of a nice foam tip there. And so by lifting color out, I can create the kind of sky that I want to create. And I can create the clouds that I want to create. Now, another thing, when you're doing clouds, and one mistake that is often made is forgetting about what is often called aerial perspective, and that simply means, when we draw, let me draw a horizon line here for us. Let's put a horizon line down here. I'm not going to worry that it's very square or accurate. I just want a line kind of give us that horizon. When you're doing clouds, as you get closer to the horizon line, as a rule, these clouds are farther away, and so you don't want to draw them as big and puffy as what we have up in the sky, because they're not going to look right. It's not going to look unbalanced. The larger size will bring them too close. So as I get farther down toward the horizon line. I'm going to make the clouds, yep, using the wrong end there. I need to work on that one. I'm going to make those clouds smaller and often flatter off in the distance. And again, a lot here is just horizontal lines that have a few cloud-like shapes on it. But the farther down you get toward the horizon line, the farther those clouds are away. So you want to make those smaller. And then, I would use my finger to blend. So that's clouds in a nutshell. I don't know, can a cloud go in a nutshell? I'm not sure. Sorry, that was corny. But that's just a real simple way of doing clouds. Now, also still working on the sky. When we're doing a sunset, it depends on the picture that we're working from. But if I've got, some, blue up in the sky, and I'm going down toward the horizon line, one thing I want to avoid is going from blue to yellow, because if you mix blue and yellow, you're going to tend to get a greenish tint. So I will always, even if it isn't necessarily in the picture, I'm always going to put a little bit of pink, even if it's just a light pink, in between my blue and yellow, so that I don't get that mixture of blue and yellow. There's sort of a buffer zone in there to keep the blue and the yellow and not have a green sky. The only time you're going to see green in the sky is if you're drawing the northern lights, and this is not going to be a picture of the northern lights. So one other thing in blending, you want to use a very light touch. And normally, I didn't do it there, but normally I'm going to work from the yellows up to the blues rather than from the blues to the yellows. And I also am going to clean my fingers. If I'm using my fingers to blend, I'm going to clean those as I transition from color to color so that I don't muddy the waters, as it were. Muddy the chalk. Okay, so that's just some basic ideas on how to draw skies.